The next portion of the class is going to be going over a solo traveling turn technique for the ladies to do by themselves. So it's very important for ladies whenever you're learning how to turn, whenever you're learning all traveling turns, the technique is if you know how to do it by yourself, you know how to do it with a partner. So this exercise is going to help you do that. This exercise is an across the floor exercise that involves two positions. We're going to call them position 1 and position 2. So what we want to start off is in a neutral position with our feet close together and our weight is neutral and our arms are in center. So the first thing we want to do is put the weight into the ball of our feet and try and hold it there as much as possible. So now what we're going to do is put the weight all the way in the right. We're going to be starting with the left turn first. So whenever we're going into position 1 for a left turn, so it's going to be with the left leg. So that means whenever I hit position 1, I'm going to step the way that I'm turning. So my left leg is going to step in the direction that I'm turning. The most important thing here is that my hips are facing forward. They're facing inside the slot. Because wherever my hips are facing, that's the direction I'm going to be turning. What a lot of ladies tend to do is they tend to under-rotate or over-rotate their hips outside the slot. So it means they're not going to be turning in the line. So it's very important that whenever we're going into position 1, that we keep our hips facing forward, facing inside the slot, the direction we want to go. So now when I go into position 2, I'm going to be doing a quarter turn to the left. So that means my right leg is going to be landing right next to my left leg underneath my body, right? So it's very important that this step is traveling forward, but at the same time, I step underneath myself to keep my center, to keep myself grounded. So what we don't want to do in position 2 is go sideways like this because we're stepping right now outside our body and we're not going to be stable enough to do another turn, right? So we're going to start off in neutral. Put the weight in the balls of your feet. Put all the weight in the right. You're going to go to position 1. Hips are forward. Turn to the left, position 2. So right now, all the weight should be in the right leg. So now from position 2, we're going to be going back to position 1. So turning toward our left shoulder, I'm going to be hitting the same position that I hit before, position 1. So once again, my hips are forward, my foot is stepping into the ground forward. So right now I have driving energy going forward. There's no neutral energy here. So I'm really stepping with the balls of my feet going forward. I'm pushing forward and then I'm going to go back to position 2. I'm nice and grounded. All the weight is in the right. I go back to position 1, position 2. Right? So now let's talk about the arms while we're doing this. So the arms are going to be always our center and our motivators, right? So what we want to do is that whenever we're going to position 1, we want to be opening up our frame. So when we open up our frame, we don't want to open so big that we're throwing ourselves off. So it's very important that whenever we're going to position 1, our arms are open here. So now, closing them to go to position 2, this force is going to help me while turning. So when I go into position 2, I'm going to close them back to my center. So now when I open them back up for position 1, this motion is going to help me with the turn to the left. Position 1, position 2, position 1, position 2, position 1, position 2. Right? Those are turns to the left. So now we're going to do the same thing to the right. So we're going to be starting facing forward in neutral position. Put all the weight in the balls of your feet. Now all the weight is going to be going to the left. So same thing, when I go to position 1, my right leg starts. I'm going to be facing the direction that I'm going. Position 1, hips are going forward. I go to position 2, position 1, position 2, position 1, 2, 1, 2.